How long should sex actually last? 5 minutes? 10? 20? You've probably wondered that at some point. Maybe after hearing friends brag, or after seeing impossible scenes in movies. And deep down, you might have thought, am I normal? As a urologist, I get that question all the time. And the truth? Most men overestimate what's normal. They carry quiet pressure to perform longer, to prove something, when in reality, that mindset does more harm than good. Because here's what often happens. You start worrying about lasting longer. That stress releases adrenaline. And adrenaline, the same hormone that helps you run from danger, shuts down the relaxation your body needs for intimacy. The more you think, the harder it becomes to stay connected. So, how long should sex last? What's the real average according to science? And how can you last longer naturally without pills or pressure? That's exactly what we'll talk about today. I'll share what research says about duration, why your mind plays such a big role, and how to build better endurance through simple, doctor-approved methods. You'll understand what's normal, what's not, and what truly matters when it comes to satisfaction for you and your partner. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo, urologist and men's health specialist. Let's break the myth and rebuild your confidence, one honest conversation at a time. Sex is one of those topics most men don't talk about openly, yet it's one of the biggest sources of quiet anxiety. You might wonder, why can't I last as long as I used to? Or why does everyone else seem to have more control? The truth is, many men silently compare themselves to unrealistic standards, often shaped by what they see online or hear in conversation. But real life doesn't work that way. Our bodies, emotions, and stress levels play a far bigger role than we realize. Studies show that the average duration of sexual intercourse, from penetration to ejaculation, is often much shorter than people expect. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It simply means our idea of normal has been distorted. Performance pressure can start a mental loop. You anticipate finishing too soon, then your brain floods with stress hormones. Your muscles tense, your breathing shortens, and instead of feeling pleasure, you start analyzing every second. Sound familiar? This cycle doesn't just affect performance. It can chip away at confidence, self-esteem, even intimacy. You may start avoiding sex out of fear of disappointing your partner, and that fear can make things even worse. But here's the hopeful part. This is fixable. There's nothing broken about you. What's happening is physiological, psychological, and deeply human. With the right knowledge and techniques, you can regain control, not by forcing yourself to last longer, but by understanding how your body and mind work together. So in this video, we'll explore the real averages based on medical research, why lasting longer isn't just about the physical act, and how simple, natural adjustments, like breathing, awareness, and certain lifestyle choices, can make a big difference. Because lasting longer isn't about racing against the clock. It's about feeling confident, connected, and in control of your body. And that's something every man deserves to experience. Let's start with a reality check. When researchers studied couples from around the world, the average duration of intercourse, from penetration to ejaculation, was around 5 to 7 minutes. That's it. Not 20, not 30. Just a few minutes. Now, that number might surprise you, but it's important to understand what it means. The goal of sex isn't to beat a stopwatch. It's to feel connection, pleasure, and closeness. And if you've been comparing yourself to exaggerated scenes or stories, you've been measuring against a fantasy. Still, many men want to improve their control and confidence, and that's completely natural. So let's break down what really affects how long you last, and what you can do to extend that time naturally. First, understand what controls ejaculation. Ejaculation is not just physical. It's a reflex controlled by your nervous system. When you're relaxed, your body operates under the parasympathetic system. That's the rest and pleasure mode. It allows arousal to build slowly and naturally. But when anxiety or performance pressure kicks in, your sympathetic system takes over. That's your fight or flight mode. It floods you with adrenaline, and adrenaline shortens the process dramatically. So lasting longer starts not with your muscles, but with your mind. That's why techniques like mindful breathing and sensate focus, focusing on sensations instead of outcomes, are so effective. They calm your nervous system, help you stay present, and allow your body to follow its natural rhythm. You're not fighting your body, you're guiding it. Second, Strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. This is one of the most underrated ways to gain control. Your pelvic floor muscles support your bladder, bowels, and sexual organs. They also play a direct role in ejaculation. Weak or untrained muscles can make it hard to hold back when you're near climax. To train them, start with Kegel exercises. Here's how. Imagine stopping your urine mid-flow. The muscle you tighten is your pelvic floor. Practice contracting it for 3 seconds, then releasing for 3 seconds. Aim for 10 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a day. Over time, you'll notice better control and stronger erections. And because this muscle group also supports blood flow, many men find that their sensitivity becomes easier to manage, not overwhelming. Remember, like any muscle, it takes consistency. A few weeks of regular training can create real results. Third, focus on rhythm, not resistance. Many men try to hold it in for as long as possible, but that usually backfires. When you tense up or overthink, your body interprets it as stress. Instead, focus on rhythm and pacing. You can think of it like dancing, moving in sync, not sprinting ahead. The stop-start technique is a classic method for this. During stimulation, when you feel close to climax, pause for a few seconds. Breathe deeply. Let the intensity drop slightly, then resume. Over time, this retrains your body to tolerate higher levels of arousal without reaching the point of no return too quickly. Combine that with steady breathing. Deep, slow breaths lower adrenaline and increase oxygen flow, both key for maintaining control. And most importantly, communicate with your partner. When you share what you're doing, it turns a personal challenge into a shared experience. That honesty builds trust and removes pressure. Fourth, manage your lifestyle and energy level. Your endurance in bed often mirrors your overall health. Poor sleep, smoking, high stress, or alcohol can all affect your hormones and blood flow. So can certain medications. To improve stamina, start with the basic sleep. Aim for at least 7 hours. Testosterone peaks during deep sleep. Exercise. Regular cardio and strength training boost circulation and lower stress hormones. Diet. Foods rich in zinc, omega-3s, and antioxidants, like salmon, nuts, and leafy greens, support sexual function. Stress. Chronic stress increases cortisol, which lowers libido and disrupts hormonal balance. Some men also benefit from natural supplements like L-citrulline, ginseng, or ashwagandha, but these should be discussed with your doctor to ensure safety. When your body feels strong and rested, your mind follows. That balance is what creates lasting control. Fifth, redefine what good sex means. Here's something I tell my patients often. Satisfaction doesn't depend on how long you last. It depends on how present you are. Many couples report greater fulfillment when they focus on emotional connection, touch, and foreplay rather than the final act. So, shift your focus. Make pleasure mutual. Take time for kissing, exploring, and building arousal slowly. Foreplay can last 15, 20, even 30 minutes. That's where most of the intimacy happens. And if you both reach climax sooner than expected, it's not failure. It's a moment shared, not timed. Also remember, premature ejaculation is common. Studies show it affects up to 1 in 3 men at some point. It's treatable with behavioral methods, therapy, and, when needed, safe medications prescribed by a doctor. The key is not to let it define your confidence or your relationship. So, if you've been worried about how long you last, pause for a moment. Ask yourself what lasting longer truly means for you. Is it control, connection, confidence? Because when you address the deeper layers, stress, expectations, and self-awareness, you don't just improve your performance, you rebuild how you experience intimacy. Sex isn't a performance. It's a language of closeness, comfort, and care. And learning to understand your body, how it reacts, what it needs, and how to guide it is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself and your relationship. With patience, practice, and the right mindset, every man can improve. Not through pressure, but through presence. So what have we learned? First, that the ideal duration of sex isn't what most people think. Research tells us that the average time from penetration to ejaculation is about 5 to 7 minutes, and that's completely normal. Longer doesn't always mean better. What truly matters is connection, comfort, and mutual pleasure. Second, we learned that lasting longer starts in the mind. When you're anxious or self-conscious, your body releases stress hormones that shorten the process. Calmness, confidence, and awareness create control. That's why breathing, slowing down, and focusing on sensations, not performance, makes such a difference. Third, we talked about training your body. Your pelvic floor muscles are key players in control. Strengthening them through simple Kegel exercises can dramatically improve stamina and erectile function. It's a small daily habit with major long-term benefits. Fourth, we saw how lifestyle choices like sleep, exercise, and nutrition affect sexual performance more than most people realize. A healthy heart means better blood flow. A rested mind means better focus. The small things you do for your general well-being are also what support your sexual health. And finally, we reframed what good sex really means. It's not a competition, it's communication, it's shared experience. The length of time doesn't define intimacy. The presence and attention you bring to the moment do. If you take one message from this video, let it be this: you are not broken. What you're experiencing is human, common, and manageable. Your body responds to your emotions, habits, and mindset. When you learn to work with it rather than against it, you regain control naturally. Always listen to your body. If something feels off, or if performance issues are causing you distress, talk to a doctor. A professional can help rule out medical causes and guide you safely. Remember, confidence isn't built on perfection. It's built on understanding. The more you understand your body, the more at ease you'll feel in your own skin, and the better your relationships will become. You deserve a healthy, satisfying, and shame-free sex life. And it starts with awareness, patience, and compassion for yourself and for your partner. If this conversation helped you understand your body a little better, take a moment to breathe. And remember, improvement starts with awareness. Sexual health isn't about performance. It's about balance between your body, your emotions, and your confidence. And you can absolutely build that balance one small step at a time. If you found this helpful, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel for more honest, science-based discussions about men's health, confidence, and natural wellness. Every week, we explore topics that matter, from hormones and energy to relationships and recovery, all with calm, evidence-based guidance. You can also leave a question in the comments below. I read them personally, and they often inspire future videos. Because the more we talk about these topics, the less shame and confusion there is around them. Remember, lasting longer, feeling stronger, living healthier, it all begins with understanding yourself. Thank you for being here, for taking care of your health, and for being open to learning. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo. Take care of your body, stay kind to your mind, and I'll see you in the next video.